Sabre Resources has just announced that it's generated multiple drilling targets for high-grade uranium at its Dingo Project in the Northern Territory, and says drone magnetics and radiometrics has defined high-grade uranium targets on strike from established resources and near previous drilling. Joining me to discuss more is its CEO, John Dugdale. John, welcome to the Stock Network.
Thanks, Lel.
Now, John, as you mentioned in the ASX announcement, the exploration program at the Dingo Project is in full swing. What are the highlights from your drilling plans?
So this announcement talks about the results of our drone magnetics program, as you mentioned, and also the reprocessing of the uranium radiometrics. And it's on our Dingo project, which is a large project area with quite a few number of granted tenements, over about 1,100 square kilometres of highly prospective ground along strike from high-grade resources such as the Ngalia Project, which has got 7.5 million tonnes at nearly 1,300 ppm U3O8, and that's just directly along strike. So the key points of this release are the drone magnetics. It's highlighted extensions of the unit that hosts the Ngalia resource, which is the Mount Eclipse sandstone, a highly prospective unit. And we think we've got up to 50 kilometres of extensions of that unit in our tenements. But it's also highlighted some uranium mineralised fault structures that haven't been tested, and also a third type of target, and that is buried paleochannel targets. The magnetics is actually able to see through the cover, and we can see these channels like veins draining these highly uranium-enriched outcrops, and so we have potential for 3 types of uranium-enriched zones.
Now, John, while you're talking about those drilling targets, it's initially planned, as you mentioned, to follow up previous high-grade uranium results. What's the potential of this area based perhaps on historical data?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the Mount Eclipse sandstone, which hosts the other high-grade resources in the area, continues into our tenements. And there are pre-existing high-grade results that haven't been followed up in our ground, including up to 5,194 parts per million U3O8. So that's nearly half, that's just over 0.5% uranium. So that's very high grade. It's in our tenement. It hasn't been followed up, and we plan to initially tackle the immediate extensions of that mineralisation. But not only that, the high-grade results actually occur within the Mount Eclipse sandstone, and the drone magnetics has shown that we have extensions of that unit continuing under shallow cover. And so not only will we follow up those high-grade results, but we'll also look to step out along strike and try to expand the mineralised zone.
Excellent. And finally, John, the Ngalia Basin is known as one of Australia's premier uranium areas. What gives you confidence in this exploration program?
It's quite unique in Australia, the Ngalia Basin. It's an area that is in the Northern Territory, where exploration and development of uranium deposits is allowed, and it's also in an area on past releases northwest of Alice Springs, where the exploration conditions are quite good. It's quite an easy place to explore, and there are existing resources in the area. So we have potential there to explore and develop, but we have other companies that also have resources, so there's potential to actually move forward and develop a significant uranium mining development area for the Northern Territory.
Well, John, thanks for the update on today's news, and we'll be following progress as the drilling progresses.
Thank you very much, Sal.